Have you ever wanted to take your travel vlogs or your travel videos to the next level? Well, you definitely can with one of these, an Insta360 X4. In this video, I'm going to show you how to create really dynamic, unique travel vlogs using just this camera and one of these, an invisible selfie stick. That is all you will need to create amazing shots like you're seeing here. So first up, why the Insta360 X4 for travel videography? Why would you use this camera instead of, say, your phone or even a GoPro? The main reason I use the X4 for my travel vlogging, for my travel videos, is that it's so quick and easy to do the actual shooting. You don't need to think about where you're pointing the camera. It doesn't really require much planning. All of the effort, well, I'd say 80% of the effort, is done in the editing process, which leaves you time to actually enjoy what you're seeing, what you're traveling, where you are. You don't have to waste your time looking through a camera viewfinder. You can just set up the camera on the invisible selfie stick, record, and then worry about the framing later. That is the beauty of 360 cameras. It's capturing everything. You don't need to worry about missing a thing. As well as that, it's lightweight, it's portable, it has several video modes. Before I go into actually making the travel videos and editing and all of that, let's go over a few basics so that you are ready to get the best kind of shots possible. If you're going to be out shooting all day in a, really unique location, then first thing you'll need is definitely one of these, an invisible selfie stick. This is the extra large one. You don't need that, but anything that's labeled as an invisible selfie stick will work. Anything that kind of looks like this at the top. Now, if you're watching this because you don't have an X4 and you're thinking about getting it, using the link in the description of this video will get you a free invisible selfie stick, so bear that in mind. Make sure the camera is fully charged and make sure you have a fast SD card. Let's take a look at a travel vlog that I've shot with only the Insta360 X4. I shot it all basically in one day. I recently went to Cambodia and Vietnam and I visited the Angkor. I visited the Angkor Wat, which is one of the most amazing places I've ever been. This is about a 2-minute video, so feel free to skip if you want to get to how to edit and how to create. Hey guys, how's it going? It's hot. I'm in Cambodia. Near the in one of the ancient temples near the Angkor Wat, and I've been shooting a lot of stuff on this camera. I hope you've enjoyed it. Yeah, this is such an amazing country. I really recommend you guys visit. I mean, look at this. Look at this. It's like 1,000 years old. Crazy. Yeah. Let's see where we end up next. So there we go, guys. That was my very quick and easy travel vlog. Now, honestly, that's not my best effort, I must admit. I will say I did not go on this trip to be shooting stuff. I actually wanted to take some time off of doing that. And the one major thing that I forgot to do, which is something that I tell everyone to do all the time, is to clean the lenses on the camera, which is why sometimes you noticed some blurriness in that video. And some, it wasn't the best quality because I didn't do this every time I touched the lens. So make sure you're doing that and you'll get better quality than I did there. So you saw there, guys, that there are a range of different shots. Some of them were pretty unique. Some of them are very different from the others. But to be honest, the way I filmed them were exactly the same, or virtually exactly the same. All I did was attach the camera to the selfie stick like this, and usually just holding it high above my head. That's all I did. Walking around, sometimes holding it in front, sometimes holding it to the side, and sometimes holding it behind me once you saw those third person shots. So that's really all you need to do. And maybe if you want to run around a bit, if you want to create some motion, but yeah, it's really, really easy to film. If you want to get close up to an object like you saw in this shot with the tree, then simply raise the camera from the ground up close to the tree and you can get this kind of shot. And most of it is done in the editing. So the actual shooting is super, super simple. So once you've done shooting and you've probably returned home at this point, get all of those files into the Insta360 Studio and then you can start the editing process. Now, what I recommend you do here is you go onto the Projects tab because we're going to be creating a video featuring many clips. And in this part of the studio, you can combine your clips together and you can also do the reframing as well. So it's better just to do all of it in this Project tab and you can save it, you can add text, you can add transitions. This is where we're going to be making our travel vlog. So firstly, go through all of your shots and do the reframing process. So that basically means adding those keyframes, moving the image around using the preview. And here is where you can create some of those effects. For example, the tiny planet effects I did here with these trees, very, very simple. Simply mark a keyframe at the start, skip along 5-10 seconds, make another keyframe and add the tiny planet effect. And you can drag along the screen to make it, move it around depending on the kind of effect you want. So I'm not going to go into loads of details about how to create all of these effects. If you want to know how to create the different unique effects, then I have a whole course that does that, that goes through about 20 different effects, about 70 lessons. So I've mentioned it many times, so check the link in the description. There's also a discount for that. In order for me to accurately describe how to create all the different special effects, it would take me about an hour, so this video would be way too long. But let's get into how to actually create the travel vlog. Once you've done all your reframing and you've created all those unique effects, then you can start combining the clips together, drag them into the timeline, and you can start syncing them up. In my example, I used a backing track and I just tried to edit it to the music. If it's going to be a longer video, then I recommend doing that. I think it works quite well. But I recommend choosing the music first and then dragging that into the studio and editing from there. Then you can go to the kind of the beat of the music. I chose to use my own music, so I dragged that in and then I started to sync up my clips to that music. But a very important aspect of these travel vlogs, and I think something that makes them a bit more unique and a bit special, is the transitions. Now, some of the transitions in the Insta360 Studio, which is a fairly new addition, are really dynamic, and combining the two 360 videos together and using these transitions, you can create some really smooth effects. A recommendation I would have is look at the direction of travel in one clip and then combine that with the other clip and then find a transition that it smoothly goes between the two. So if your video is going upwards in one clip, there is a transition that says flip up or blur upwards, and that would be a great transition because it follows the movement of your clip. In my travel vlog, I combined several different types of videos, just some normal videos that I reframed. I created some hyperlapse videos, those fast moving shots, and I also used the single lens mode to create a kind of little vlog where I spoke into the camera. I think that is a great way to break up your videos and to make use of that single lens mode. It's definitely a little bit higher quality for selfie shots, for speaking to the camera. And I would just do that by holding the camera close to you, about arm's length away. With that length, it's going to be able to pick up the audio pretty well. And it just gives a more personal touch to your videos. If you're speaking to the camera, it allows the audience to connect to you and for you to describe your experience, not just show it. I've seen travel videos shot with this camera blow up on TikTok and Instagram time and time again. It's because you can create some really unique looking shots. In my example, I use the Insta360 Studio, but you can of course use the Insta360 app. It's slightly less intuitive just because of the small screen. It's a bit harder to get those keyframes where you want them to, and yeah, it can just be a little bit frustrating in that way, but it does have many features that the desktop studio does not have, some automatic video creators, some special effects that the studio doesn't have, so don't sleep on those. You can definitely create some unique shots. I just prefer to create these longer videos in the Insta360 Studio. So that is how you can create a travel vlog with nothing but the Insta360 X4 and one of these invisible selfie sticks. Just remember to have fun, don't worry too much about the framing, keep your lenses clean, and make sure you learn some of the editing tricks to get those special shots, those unique shots. And finally, as I mentioned, remember to enjoy where you're traveling. Don't spend all your time worrying about what you're capturing. This camera makes it much easier to do that, but even then, just enjoy where you are. Don't worry about capturing content. You're there to enjoy the traveling experience. So that's it, guys. I hope you found that useful. Like I said, if you're interested in that course and how to get the most out of your X4, it's got over 70 lessons and it's growing all the time. So yeah, there's a discount there below, which I have available just for the next week or so, just until the end of the month. So, but until next time, guys, more tips and tricks coming on this channel. I'll see you next time. Bye.